Oh my God, Anita. Oh my God, Anita.
Hello, welcome to another edition of the Willie Bragg Show. I'm your humble host, Willie Bragg. Today we're going to talk about Italy. Recently, there was an election in Italy. And like most countries in Europe, pretty much almost every country in Europe, there's been pretty much a back and forth between social democracy and center-right conservatism, with coalition governments occasionally with smaller parties in there. And that's what it's been for a while. Italy being no different. Just recently, something controversial happened. There was an election, and Italy elected their first female prime minister, which in itself would be, under normal circumstances, it would be a good thing. But on the downside, this female prime minister is the furthest right-wing person to be leading Italy since the days of Benito Mussolini. So it seems. And so that's basically what's controversial right now. So I'm going to play you footage from the election, and then I'll share a few more words afterwards. So give me a moment here, and we'll get started. I hope everybody's doing well this morning. Are we ready? Yes, we are.
It was the small hours of the morning before she came out to celebrate, but Giorgia Meloni was energized by victory, and she promised to unite her country.
It seems clear to me that what came out from the first projections is that Italians in these general elections have expressed a clear indication that they want a centre-right government led by Brothers of Italy.
Her party, the Brothers of Italy, is now the biggest and will lead a right-wing coalition government.
If we will be called to govern this country, we will do it for all Italians, for everybody, with the goal of uniting this people, of stressing what unites rather than what divides.
Meloni doesn't look, sound or act like most Italian politicians, and that's probably what got her elected. 4 years ago, the Brothers of Italy got just 4% in the last general election, and Giorgia Meloni looked like a bit part player. Our times have changed. She's now a winner, poised to become her country's first woman prime minister, and certain to play a leading role on the world political stage. She has tried to add humour to her campaign, but there are plenty worried about the future. Her coalition will include two of Italy's most controversial leaders, Matteo Salvini, the far-right head of the League Party, and Silvio Berlusconi, now nearly 86 years old, but still an influential, outspoken showman. The turnout in this election was desperately low. Italy wants fresh ideas. Meloni's supporters savoured their victory with noise and energy. But winning power was one thing. Using it will be quite another challenge. Adam Parsons, Sky News, Rome.
Okay. Well, what I got to say about that is that the controversy is the Brothers of Italy party. The Brothers of Italy party is they claim to be kind of like a national conservative party, but it's been known to have right-wing origins dating back to the end of World War II, where it went under various different names, and the people that were affiliated with this group under its various names and predecessors were people who were sympathetic to Benito Mussolini when he was, around the end of World War II at that time period. So that's where the controversy is. The controversy also is her position on immigration, her position on LGBTQ issues, abortion, things of that nature. On one hand, one could look at it and say, well, she might be just a center-right conservative. But on the other hand, as I said, with the history of that political party and where it traces back to, is where a lot of people have a little bit of a concern. People within Italy and people who are who are within the international community who are seeing a wave of fascist movements around the world. We have seen. I mean, we've seen Bolsonaro in Brazil. There's an election coming up soon, and right now looks like Lula da Silva is favored to win. But what happens if he wins and Lula da Silva decides he's got the military, he's with the military, and he got support from the military? What if he decides he doesn't want to leave the office of the presidency? Brazil's had military dictatorships before. And then you got Viktor Orban in places like Hungary, who's known to have fascistic leanings. And while I won't say that Volodymyr Zelensky of the Ukraine is fascist, he's used some fascistic measures in the Ukraine, like shutting down 11 political parties, shutting down oppositional TV media within the Ukraine. And there are in spite of the man being Jewish. There are military, the military and ministers in government have neo-Nazi ties. So there is a problem with Ukraine as well. So with regard to Italy and France, just through the skin of their teeth prevented the election of Marine Le Pen. So we don't know what's going to happen in the future. And do I think that Italy's going to go back to being a fascist state like it was under Mussolini? There are some criteria that would tell me perhaps not, where I can be hopeful won't happen. Italy's political system is volatile. They're used to having elections all the time under their electoral system. And hopefully this is short-lived. So there is that. Also, with respect to the country's people and all that, there is a degree of dysfunctionality in the country and corruption. So, whatever she would try to do, it may not actually be fully implemented. And I'm trying to be optimistic here, saying this. So, let's talk about some of the American reactions to this, because the girl boss mentality. It just astounds me. Just astounds me. So Meghan McCain basically, of course, Meghan McCain with her worthless opinions, because anything that Meghan McCain says is worthless. Let's keep it real. I mean, there she is. She's saying everyone wants a woman in power until it's a conservative woman in power. Well, there's a difference between being a conservative and being an authoritarian right winger, and it looks like she has authoritarian tendencies. And but we're talking about Meghan McCain, who's a self-entitled, bratty, wealthy, privileged bitch. I mean, and her father is a war criminal. When John McCain, her father, when he was alive, was a war criminal who was pretty much very supportive of the Bush-Cheney foreign policy. So, fuck what she's got to say. So, and that's not the only tweet that's where the reaction to her. Another one would be somebody probably more reprehensible than Meghan McCain, believe it or not. We got some here, some reprehensible folks I'm about ready to mention, would be Marjorie Taylor Greene. And what did Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene have to say? She says, so beautiful. Congratulations to Giorgia Meloni and to the people of Italy. Let's see, and shows here where let's see, whoever Greg Price is Italy's new Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni. I never heard any politician so perfectly explain what we're up against and why we fight. When you watch this video, you'll quickly realize the establishment is afraid of her. I'm afraid of authoritarianism. I'm not afraid of her like she's so awesome or something. I'm afraid of her negativity. That's what I'm afraid of, anybody's negativity when it's put to use. But Marjorie Taylor Greene praising her is all I need to know about her. So it gets better. Honestly, to God, it gets better, or it gets worse, however you want to define it. Somebody if I consider her right wing, I'll be willing to consider her right wing. I'll say she's right wing, and that's Hillary Clinton. Yeah, I mean, and what she have to say, basically, Hillary Clinton praising neo-fascist Meloni. The election of the first woman prime minister in a country always represents a break with the past, and that is certainly a good thing. not if it's going to be a break with Italy's democratic passing, going back to a time period like it was from 1922 to 1943, I believe it was, where Mussolini was in power. So we should not want that, not one bit. So here's the thing about it. Is she a fascist or is she a conservative? Is a big question, and the best way to answer it is this way, and I'm going to answer it this way, and it's like this. And I just want to see where y'all stand on this. So here we go. As you can see right here, oh well, you will see it in a moment. Hope you can see it. It's the 14 points of fascism. And I'm going to read it to you. The 14 defining characteristics of fascism. Powerful and continuing nationalism. Doesn't that sound familiar? We hear it around the world, and we certainly hear it in our backyard here in the United States. Yeah, we hear it from the former president. There's a whole lot of nationalistic talk. Disdain for human rights. Again, you hear a whole lot of disdain for human rights all over the place. And, the shit lives do provide their authoritarianism too. Don't get it twisted. But we have people that they're just obsessed with punishment and obsessed with revenge politics. We're talking about people like Governor DeSantis, Governor Abbott, people like that, Marjorie Taylor Greene. We're talking about people like Lauren Boebert, Paul Gosar. All these folks are obsessed. People like media, people like Jesse Kelly. All these folks are obsessed with trampling on human rights of people they disagree with. Identification of enemies as a unifying cause. Pretty much liberals, leftists, immigrants, gay people, trans, you substitute that, those people, with Jews back in the days of Hitler. I mean, and of course, Hitler, when he was saying Jews, he pretty much was saying, people of color, liberals, whatever, at that time. So supremacy of the military. I mean, people want to talk about flexing their military muscle, rampant sexism. You got people who are wanting to have women put in their place, control mass media. Now, some people be like, well, we got nothing but liberal media. No, we got right-wing media and we got corporatized centrist media, and it's all one and the same in many ways. And that is, they have a culture war, but they all are for the same thing economically. Let's see. Obsession with national security. You got a lot of that during that Bush-Cheney period that we're not quite lost grip of. Religion and government intertwined. Oh, and that's been going on here in the U.S. Probably a little more than in the other parts of the world. I'm so sorry. Work graveyard shift. Religion and government intertwined. They're obsessed with that. Corporate power protected. You got Mitch McConnell that's doing that. Labor power suppressed. They have done a good job of that in the last 40 some years. Disdain for intellectuals and the arts. They've been doing that forever. Obsession with crime and punishment. Well, you can see with things like Governor DeSantis, don't say gay bill in Florida, and even some of this anti-protest laws, which goes as far as actually giving the right for right-wing people to actually murder left-wing protesters. Not hyperbole, it will technically can allow that. Rampant cronyism and corruption and fraudulent elections. Yep, I won't talk too much about fraudulent elections because that could get my channel shut down. I remember what happened a few months ago. So, my point is that we're kind of on that slippery slope of fascism, and we need to be careful. So, I just wanted to have that stated. So, anyway, I have stuff I got to do. I have to actually buy some batteries for my mouse pad to continue my editing. So when I'm done with this video, so it'll be a while before I edit everything out when I'm done with this video. But y'all don't need to know these little intricacies about what I do after the video is published. On October the 8th, I should be in Washington, D.C. at the U.S. Department of Justice between 12 and 3 to protest, in solidarity of Julian Assange. And I hope that all of y'all would be there and just look for me. I'll be out there. If you're out there, look for me, say hi. And just letting y'all know about that and everything. Tossing that out there, encouraging y'all to go if you can. And let me just conclude by saying, if you like what you heard, press like and comment. If you disagree, well, comment anyway. We will have a conversation. Feel free to share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it, because we are, in fact, the muckrakers of our time. And subscribe to this channel here on YouTube, Twitch. Follow me on Twitter, because I'm up there most of the time, and you will start to see shit that I'm publishing on Rumble. Hopefully starting in the next week or two, you'll start seeing stuff on Rumble. So anyway, I am going to go and conclude by saying to you all music. So let me conclude by saying to you all what I just said, which is, of course, music. So take care. Y'all take it easy.